there are more people going for the pterodactyl mount than there are going for the mentor roulette mount. Because the pterodactyl ownership rate has been increasing pretty steadily, while the one for the mentor roulette mount has stayed pretty constant. Ah, you bastard. I'm gonna have to wait. So, what that boils down to is that people would rather spend hours upon hours upon hours gathering in Diadem and crafting these items for the 500,000 Skybuilders points. People would rather do that than go through Mentor Roulette. People are perfectly happy with that grind, but they do not want to go anywhere near Mentor Roulette. And having gone through the Mentor Roulettes necessary to get this thing, I can't really say I blame them. It's possible that they don't know the cheese, but honestly, it's been pretty well known since the mount came out. Yeah, people have known about this for a while. Like, I first heard about it in Stormblood, when I started actually going for the mount. That was when I heard about it. Maiden! Kill the maiden! Kill the maiden. It must die. I will smash open its body, and jewels shall rain down upon me. Okay, there we go. It's dead. And by jewels, I mean gemstones. Okay, maintenance is going to start in 2 hours, which is fine, because I wasn't going to be online that long. I'll go ahead and put a pause on my grinding. I'll get up to... You know what? Screw it. I'll stick around and see how many gemstones I can get. My quota is 1,000, but... I don't know if I'll be able to get that before maintenance hits, but we'll find out. Now I'm gonna keep going until either maintenance or until I hit 1,000 gemstones. And then I'll call it a day. At the moment, this mount is the rarest one I own. However, once I get the Sugar Glider, that one will very likely be the rarest one that I own for quite a while. Because I know people are going for it, but it takes a long time to grind. And I believe the ownership rate on that one is like 0.3%. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked. Let's actually take a look. Let's see. XIV collect mounts. Let's see. Ownership. Okay, currently there are... Oh wait, hang on. I gotta turn off the... Let's see... show all. Okay, there we go. Okay, currently there are... There are 9 mounts that are rarer than the Mentor Roulette mount. Oh, I was actually slightly off. It's 0.5% of people own this mount. 0.5, not 0.4, because that's definitely a significant difference. Oh, and I also apparently was wrong on another count too. This is actually not the rarest mount I own, but I understand why I didn't count this one as the rarest mount, because it's the mount that you get from doing Unreal with faux hollows. And the reason why I don't count that one as the rarest is because it's new, and that's why people don't have it. Because it's a really easy mount to get. So I don't really count that one. It's the same with EX trial mounts. The wings and the shit that you get from doing the EX trials. I don't really count those ones as being particularly rare because they are super easy to get, and they are typically only rare when they first come out. Yeah, the pterodactyl, the sugar glider, those are rarer. The barrel tender mount is rarer. The Ronek is rarer, and then a bunch of hunt mounts. And the hunt mounts are the reason why I won't be getting all of the mounts in the game, because I absolutely refuse to do hunts. Specifically the A and S rank hunts. I refuse. I refuse to do those. They're stupid, and I hate them. Do I have Demi Ozma? No. That's one of the mounts that I gotta grab at some point. I still gotta grab that one. And the main reason why I don't have that one is because around the time people were doing Eureka and getting Demi Ozma was much, much easier because more people were just in Eureka in general. I took a break from the game, so I fell way behind on that, and I didn't really care for Eureka too much anyway after Pagos. So I just didn't do Baldessian Arsenal. So that's why I don't have it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that. And head up north. Also took 2 weeks off and got every job on max on release at Dawn Trail. Yeah, I don't know how long it took for me to get every job maxed. I know I didn't do it in 2 weeks, I can tell you that. Because I did a really slow, chill grind to get everything leveled up. Like, typically when a new expansion comes out and there's leveling to be done, usually all I'll do is roulettes. And that's it. I'll just use roulettes to get to max level. So it takes a while, but it's not as taxing on my sanity. $100K per dungeon? Oh man. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Because your options were to use roulettes. Oh yeah, that was the other thing that I did. I also did trusts. I also used trusts to level my DPS. Because you can literally just walk through the dungeon, not actually do anything, and clear the dungeon pretty easily. It's very, very chill. Takes a while to do a dungeon that way, but you can do it without actually hitting a single mob. Which is why I know all of the boss mechanics really, really well in the Dawn Trail dungeons. Okay, he should spawn, like, right here. There he is. And yeah, I remember people putting up bounties for that shit for tanks and healers to queue with them in dungeons. There were literally, I specifically remember that there were actually party finders up with offers of gil in exchange for queuing with a healer or a tank. Asking limbs for 500k, yep. Yep. Made me almost sad to be a DPS main. I say almost because I probably wouldn't have cared either way because I don't really use my gil for anything. Gil in this game is kind of pointless. Okay, I should actually clarify that just a bit. Gil in this game is kind of pointless once you are set. Once you're set up with with the different things that you need, then Gil is pretty pointless. Like if you're crafting and gathering all of your own stuff, if you are doing Masked Carnival to get Aetheryte tickets for free teleports, repairing your own gear. When you've got all that set up, then Gil is kind of pointless. See, is anybody doing this one? No, they're not. Okay, I'll go ahead and come down here for this one and then go. Honestly, I'm surprised that well, actually, no, I really shouldn't be too surprised. I was going to say I was surprised that people would be asking for that sort of thing instead of just doing fates. But I'm willing to bet that most of the people that were asking don't remember the days of Stormblood. The early days of Stormblood. And the server apocalypse that happened then. Because, boy, let me tell ya. There was a time... So, picture this, if you will. Just kind of... So let me set the stage a little bit. Stormblood just launched. Okay? Hugely anticipated. Loads of people in. Loads of people going for it. Login is a little buggy, a little rocky, but a lot of people are able to get in. Not too many issues. But then, as everyone is storming through the MSQ, that's it for this one. Everyone gets to a specific quest in the MSQ. The quest name is, if I recall correctly, Best Served Cold, where you had to speak to Raubon, whereupon you would enter a solo instance to fight a Imperial patrol and destroy their big weapon. You may or may not recall this particular quest. It's pretty early in Stormblood, so I wouldn't be surprised if it... And it's pretty forgettable, so I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't know about it. But boy, oh boy, the people that were around for Stormblood's launch, oh, they remember. Because you see, what ended up happening was everyone was doing the MSQ, which meant everyone was trying to do this quest at the same time, which meant that everyone was requesting an instance, a solo instance, from the instance server at the same time. Bottleneck is putting it lightly. Because you see, the sheer number of people trying to get in, and the nature of what they were trying to get into, meant that not only were people unable to progress the MSQ, but people weren't even able to queue for dungeons. Because, again, it was a solo instance that was causing the problem. So the instance server was extremely overloaded, which meant that it just couldn't form instances fast enough. We couldn't queue for we couldn't queue for dungeons, we couldn't queue for the MSQ quest. So, what did we do? We leveled using fates. So that first day, the first couple days, honestly, of Stormblood were just full of people running around the map, just bum rushing fates all over the first map in Stormblood. And it was crazy because we couldn't unlock flying in the zone. So everybody was running around on foot. Like, people were mounting and were on their mounts and everything, sure, but they were just running around on the ground. So there would just be this massive herd of players going from one fate all the way to the next. Just back and forth, killing everything in its wake. Many, many memes were made of those moments. And that moment became known to the player base as Raubon's Wall. Also known as Raubon Savage. Some people called it Raubon EX. It was a wild time. Some people were lucky enough to be able to get through and were able to progress the story to the point where they actually did have flying. So what people started doing is they actually set up on a bridge, the big bridge in the middle of the zone with the Imperial Tower and stuff in it. People actually set up in a line on that bridge and they had two-seater mounts, and they would ferry people to the other side of the of the bridge, because there was a big gate there, so you couldn't just walk across. But they would ferry people to the other side so that they could get the aetheryte, and so they could collect some of the ether currents. They couldn't do any of the quests or anything like that because it wasn't unlocked until you progressed in the story enough. But they could at least get the aetheryte, they could at least get the map ether currents and everything, and they could at least explore the area. And they could also do the higher level fates, because that section of the map also had higher level fates on it. I'm sure a lot of people that were making content back then have videos of the event and some of the things that happened. But if you're interested in seeing that, the video I recommend watching, look up Drak, D-R-A-K. Nest also works, or should work, but YouTube, go to YouTube and search for Drak Stormblood launch, and you should see his video for the initial Stormblood stuff, and it should give you a pretty good idea of what it was like, what was going on with it. Now, me personally, I was lucky enough to get through pretty early. Like, not super early. The first day was mostly wasted for me. But, I stayed up super late that first day, because I was just in the zone grinding fates and doing some other stuff. Side quests, did all of the side quests in the area. That was another thing a lot of people did. But I stayed up until like 2 in the morning doing stuff, didn't even realize it was that late. Noticed that the line in front of Rauban had diminished a little bit. So I figured I'd go ahead and try my hand at trying to get through. And at like 2 in the morning, I was able to get through because there were few enough people trying to get in that there was just enough space for me to squeak through. Yeah, it was a fun time. I guess the other people that were doing fates either instance hopped or they just called it a night. They might have called it an early night because they might have called it a night because of the maintenance. Now that that tangent has been explained, I'm circling back around to the original point. I'm surprised people didn't just start spamming fates when they couldn't get fast queues for dungeons. But then again, it kind of makes sense because, you know, those people might not have been around during the server apocalypse that was Stormblood launch. That was also the days before bicolor gemstones were introduced. So it was literally just XP that people were grinding for. You didn't have gemstones to buy other stuff. Gemstones didn't get introduced until Shadowbringers, which is something that really annoys me to this day. And if I ever get a chance to ask Yoshi P questions, one of the questions at the top of my list is gonna be, why do you not go back to previous expansions and update systems to match newer expansions? You know, why can't the fates in ARR, Heaven's Ward, and Stormblood have bicolor gemstones? You know, why can't we do that? I remember people used to say that the reason for that was because they didn't want people playing Blue Mage to go in and nuke the Fates and have a massive gemstone farm. Which made sense, sure, except now Blue Mage goes up to level 80, which means it has access to Shadowbringers, which means it can nuke the Shadowbringers' fates to get gemstones. So the argument kind of goes out the window when you consider that. I don't know. I don't expect he would have an actual answer for me. Just like I wouldn't expect him to have an actual answer for any of the other questions that I would ask him. I'm actually gonna fly down and hit up that bonus fate before doing this second one. Because there will be a second fate that spawns here, but I want to get this bonus one. What's my gemstone count at? 727? Cool. At this rate, if I get a couple extra bonuses, or if I just get some really good fate spawns, I should have my 1,000 gemstones in 35, 45 minutes-ish? Something like that. Well before the server goes down from maintenance. Which is the main thing that I'm concerned about. hey, someone's back here doing fates again. New person. They are a ninja.